Hello folks, this is Sula speaking, and you're watching a commentary video on League of Legends. In this game, I'm playing in a practice match with all people that I know, so this is a pre-arranged practice match. I'm playing on a team here with Terror Incognita, a person whose name is actually V8 Mark, so I think it's Fate Mark, sorry if that's not correct, and Lurker. And we are playing against three of our other friends, Donsky, Cull, and Mostly Harmless. We've split up into these teams, trying to balance out the skill levels. Lurker is brand new to the game, and Vatemark hasn't played too many games, whereas Cull and Donsky have played a little bit more games. Now, you might see in the matchup that there is an Ashe and a Misfortune on both sides. Misfortune was free the week that this was being played. As far as the last matchup, I was actually going to play as Annie, but then I decided, you know what, I've played a lot of games as Annie. In order to make this more fair, let's try to play as Veigar instead. He was free this week, and I've barely played it all as Veigar. I think I've played maybe 2 games with Veigar, so I'm going to try to do that in order to balance this out and make it a little bit more fair. And that's good so that we didn't get a completely mirrored match here. Anyway, we are on Twisted Treeline, which is the 3 vs 3 map that also comes with this game. Not the standard Summoner's Rift map, because we had exactly 6 people. So you'll notice as we play through this game that a lot of things are different about this map. It's much smaller, obviously, much more enclosed. There's only 2 lanes. There's a lot of going back and forth between the 2 lanes because they're very close together. So this is a very tightly congested map. Now, what I did right at the start of the game was I suggested that we all rush together into this brush here down at the map, and then when someone came out from the other team, that we'd be able to hit them, all 3 of us together, and hopefully get a kill out of it. This is a very common strategy on Twisted Treeline. You'll often see both teams beeline for this little patch of grass, and we were talking over where we thought the other team might be, so I pinged the tower. I said, you know what, I bet that 1 or 2 of them are probably right at the tower, and then when the minions spawn, they'll probably come forward. So depending on who comes forward, we'll see who to target. And there's our starting items. I have a Doran's ring, and the other 2 players on our team have a Doran's blade, which should work well enough. The Doran's items are prized even more highly on Twisted Treeline because it's such a small map. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen here. Now our minions are starting to come forward, so just wait, be patient. Let's see if anyone tries to come out on the other team. And look, there's Cull, so he's alone. Let's all jump him together. And poor Cull has no chance. He gets hit by all of us. And oh, he's almost dead. We both pop off Ghost. Are we going to be able to catch him? Yes. I just have the range, and I finish him off with my skill. So I draw the first blood bonus and take down Cull. So a nicely executed little kill there right at the start of the game. And Cole says, good job, and I'm like, I'm sorry, because obviously that wasn't very fair. We just totally blew up Cole, and of course he had no chance because he didn't know we were there. But anyway, that is the goal of this game. Practice match or not, we are going to try to get kills. And, you know, Cull says down there he has played this map enough. So, anyway, let me go through and talk a little bit about Veigar here, because this is the first, I haven't done a game with Veigar, and you probably won't see me do a lot of games with Veigar. I think he's a fun character, but he's pretty tough to play as, and I definitely am no expert with this character. So, as you'll see, there'll be plenty of misplays on my end with this character. Alright, Veigar has a passive that gives him extra mana regen for the more mana he's missing. So as he gets close to emptying his mana meter, he will regen his mana more quickly, which is a good thing because he's one of the most mana hungry champs in this game. Alright, as far as his actual skills, I put my first point into his Q skill, which is Baleful Strike, and that's the one that you'll see me using the most early in the game here. That's the little bolt of energy that you see me firing off over and over again. The interesting thing about Baleful Strike is that any time that Veigar kills a minion using it, or kills anything using it, minion or champion, but, you know, usually minion, he gains additional ability power. So he gets 1 additional point of ability power every time he kills something with Baleful Strike. So if you look at the interface in the bottom left-hand corner, you see those numbers down there. The top one is for your physical attack. That's the 59 number. The next one below that is your ability power, and if you notice, every time I kill a minion with it, it will go up. For example, right now it's at 19. I have 19 ability power. If I get another kill with Baleful Strike, it'll go up to 20. So let's see if I can do that here. Hopefully the video will line up the timing. And not doing a particularly good job of killing the minions here, but there I go, and you can see my ability power goes up to 20. So even though that wasn't particularly good farming effort there, I'm still out in front of the rest of the team, other players, and I'm getting some ability power. So for Veigar, the early game is all about farming up as much ability power as possible. He can get to some ridiculously high totals if played by an expert. I've seen Counter Logic Gaming had one game played by Low Cicero where he got up to like 1100 ability power, which is just insane. Anyway, obviously that's not normal, but nobody can farm up ability power as well as Veigar can. So that'll just be continuously increasing throughout the game. Now notice that unlike Annie, when Veigar uses Baleful Strike, he doesn't get, it doesn't refund the mana cost. So Veigar's a very mana intensive champion to play. I would definitely suggest having some mana regen runes if you're going to play him, and taking the points in the utility masteries to get some extra mana regen, because if you keep firing off Baleful Strike over and over again, which you should be doing, you're going to run through a lot of mana very quickly. Alright, now Veigar's second ability, his W skill, is called Dark Matter, but I usually think of it and refer to it as his Meteor skill. You point somewhere on the map, and about a second later, a meteor comes down from the sky and does a ton of damage to anything that's standing there. Difficult skill to use because other players will just walk out of the way normally, so takes some practice to hit with it. But if you do hit, I mean, it does a ton of damage because this skill has a very high AP ratio. What that means is the more ability power you have, the more damage it does. Most spells or most skills have a relatively low ratio, and that one has a very high one. It's actually 1-to-1. For every point of ability power you get, you do 1 extra damage with his Meteor skill. So, like I said, very high damage skill. Now, then that's me trying to use it right there. That's the targeting circle. You can also use it to check brush, so like if I don't know if Cole's in the brush, I can cast Meteor into the brush and it'll reveal if there's anything there, so another useful skill. Next, Veigar's next skill, his E skill, is called Event Horizon, and you see me using it there. What this is a stun. Anyone who gets hit on the edges of it will be stunned. So you can actually stand in the middle of it and be perfectly okay, but any character that's right on the edges will be stunned for a couple seconds. So to play Veigar well, and this is what makes it difficult, you have to be able to land his stun with Event Horizon, and there's me trying to use it again, but Cole just manages to dodge it. You have to be able to land his stun and then drop the meteor on somebody while they're stunned, and that takes a lot of practice to do. Something that I'm not good at doing right now. I'm playing defensively here because I can see that Cole has his stun up and he's level 6, so I have no intention of getting stunned by Tibbers here. Excuse me. But for Veigar, yeah, I mean, in order to play this character well, you not only have to be good at farming ability power with Baleful Strike, but you also have to be skilled at stunning with Event Horizon, and then, and that's just a very poor use. I wasn't even close to Cole there. You want to be skilled at stunning and then hitting with his Meteor while the other character's stunned. Now, I've brought Clarity as a summoner skill here because Veigar is so mana intensive as a champion, but of course, because I never play with Clarity, I have forgotten this, and so I'm recalling the base basically just because I'm out of mana, which is very silly because I didn't use Clarity, so I could have stayed out there in the lane just fine. So again, a bit of a misplay, and you'll see worse than that yet to come from me, because this is by no means a masterful Veigar game here. Alright, just to wrap up the list of his abilities, Veigar's final skill, his ultimate, is called Primordial Burst. It's basically just a nuke that he fires off, has decent range, does a ton of damage if he hits with it. And there I actually do manage to stun Cole, but and there I hit him with my nuke there at the end, Primordial Boost, but he manages to stun me back. And so we each take damage, and it's sort of an even exchange. Cole igniting me there at the end to get a little extra damage. So just sort of back and forth. Neither one of us able to kill the other there. In large part because I didn't hit on my Meteor. If I had hit on that, then I might have been able to kill Cole, or at least get him closer to a kill there. And so yeah, we have a pretty even exchange there. Now I'm going to use my Meteor for the first time, my Dark Matter, and that's what it looks like. You can see that damage sort of rains down from the sky. Unfortunately, I'm actually taking some extra damage from minions here. Yeah, so anyway, Cole has backed off. Maybe he's going back to heal, I'm not sure at this point. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to farm up these minions, and then I'm going to recall back to base. And I actually do have a reason for recalling back to base, because I wanted 860 gold to purchase my Blasting Wand for extra ability power. So now that I've got that, I can recall and head back, and the timing was good anyway because I was pretty beat up. Okay, so that worked well. Now notice I chose to go with Sorcerer's Shoes instead of Mercury Treads. I figured this is going to be a short game. I'll just go with the cheaper boots and get that extra magic penetration. In retrospect, I'm not at all sure if that was the right idea, particularly laning up here against Annie, Cole playing Annie. With that, every time that stun hit me, I really wish that I had taken Mercury Treads instead. And so there, once again, I'm going to miss on Event Horizon. Just not doing a good job using that skill. And once again, you can see, even though I've only cast a few spells here, Veigar's already, down like 150 mana because he's just such a mana-intensive champion. But at least I'm getting that ability power up. And there I'm going to use Meteor, and again, it's just a poor usage because I only hit one minion with it, so that's just a waste of mana. You don't want to be doing that. You really should only be using Baleful Strike or in the early laning phase. Anything more than that, you're just going to be wasting mana for the most part. And so once again there, I target a minion that was already killed, so I waste more mana. Again, again, I miss on Event Horizon, so you can just see how poorly I'm playing right now. My one excuse is that I've barely played this character at all, so yeah, need some more work. I actually really like Veigar. I wish I could be better at playing him, but he's a tough champion to use. You really need a lot of practice to play as this guy. He's not someone that you can just pick up and play. It's not like somebody like Ashe, where even if you don't really know what you're doing, you can still be reasonably effective just picking up and playing them. Veigar, you've got to know what you're doing. If you're not able to hit with this stun, he's pretty much useless. Now there, I actually do manage to stun Cole. But instead of staying there, he actually runs forward towards me, which is weird. And so I'm going to fire off another shot, and now I can kill Cole, but I'm out of mana. I'm out of mana. I can't do anything. So, and again, for no reason, I'm not ghosting here. I don't know why, and Cole finishes me off. Now, what was wrong with that fight? Okay, first of all, I'm out of mana, but I forget the fact that I've brought Clarity, which would restore mana for me, which is incredibly stupid on many different levels. Secondly, I could have just run away, but again, I don't use Ghost for absolutely no reason. I've taken Ghost in every match I've ever played, and I have no idea why I forgot it there. So just well done, Cole, but really poorly played on my part. Shouldn't have been killed there. If anything, Veigar has the edge against Annie because Veigar is pretty much intended to be a casting. He's intended to be a mage-slaying champion. His ultimate does more damage against characters who are stacking ability power. So I should have the advantage in this fight. I should be able to win it. And I'm not doing it thus far. Anyway, this video is about over, so check back for part 2.